Okay. So I actually tried to record this video yesterday. I recorded the entire thing without my mic switched on. So if I'm able to predict things like magic, that's probably why I've seen it quite recently. Also, after spending about 6 hours trying to upload it to YouTube, yeah, tried to play a bit of it, see what it sounded like, and yeah, no voice. But anyway, okay, so I like to roll out this round CPU process. I'm on the dead ringer at the minute, in the big kill, and I like to get aggressive across this point. At first, until people start to really push us across the point with the dead ringer, you're not going to make much headway, but right there I was just calling out the amount of damage done to the demo man. That's kind of an unusual place for a demo man to go, because you see the standard sort of demo man roll out, he'll arrive at choke, but for whatever reason he was in here. That's important information for your team, because it's not what they expect him to be. So right here I was just getting the cap started. But the team was holding back so far that I knew I wasn't going to be able to cross the line, so my most important thing that I could be doing there was just starting the cap. So now there's a bit of aggression coming out from them, so this is where I decided to rotate around. And I'm actually strafing here to try and stay out of the view of the pyro, but the medic cop's on. So try and gun him down, but end up getting caught out. I think this team is called Sam, lives in Garforth. I'll double check that. So here, their team have popped Ubers, and I don't think our team's used ours yet, but so we're going to add it down, it's going to be jumping in. And first thing I'm going to do here is, usually when I die, I don't know why I just goes the sniper there, I think I probably meant to hit spy and just missed it. So right here we have the cap, so what I want to try and do is cross the line, really. I'm either going to try and just spam some damage from here, or in this case, I'll try and just destroy those stickies. Do that just to, make it a bit of a clearer path for it. I'm not really going to cross the line, get anywhere at the minute, so just for now, just do a bit of poking damage, see what I can find. Now here, it's at this point, that sticky trap's very important to call out. And right now what I'm trying to do is get through here so I can get a stab on the soldier. But he hears me, which I really didn't expect. The soldiers, for whatever reason, I find are the least observant vehicle. And now the spy is here. Try to get into a fight with him. What I was ideally trying to do there was just do a bit of damage to him and then get out. I never really, a spy v spy fight isn't, unless it's at last or something, it's really not that important. What's most important is that your team knows where he is. There's no point in yourself getting killed just fighting a spy. I know there's a lot of, opportunity for trash talk and stuff afterwards. Don't get sucked into it. So there, check the medigun. On a map, a 5cp map like this, especially when your team is forward spawns, it's good to be checking the medigun just about every time you die, just in case, just as a reminder to keep yourself on top of it, because on a map like this, mediguns can switch really quickly. So here I'm disguised as the spy, because it's one of the only disguises of our class that's actually going to be back here. I'm about to get called out. I've switched to the invis watch as well because of the trouble I was having getting behind people. At really stalemate portions like this, sometimes the invis watch is best, or cloak and dagger as well. When you haven't got a great deal of distance to cover, that's when you use a cloak and dagger, I find. There, let's scan him up, just double check the medigun. I think the medic had actually just gone down here, so I was waiting. At this point as well, I'm holding tab. You can't see this in the video, but I'm actually holding tab to see when the medic actually spawns. That's important because I won't know for definite what gun he's on. I'm not entirely sure how it works in terms of disguises and what medigun he's using. So, but I'm pretty sure that until he spawns, it doesn't actually update what medigun the medic's on. So here, call out to my medic that I see the spy and gets taken down immediately. And then I'm just capping for now. Before I drop down, and I don't see anybody, so I'm going to try and make my way into this lobby area. The scout either hears me or sees me, I'm not sure. So what I do is I go ahead, he's already called me out, so I go ahead and grab the health pack. It's my best chance of surviving, and also it denies it to him in case he gets into a fight in there. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and find a way through. Maybe if I'd been on the lat ranger it might have been easier, but here there's so much metal just lying around everywhere that it's kind of easy to get through. Here I hear my medic go down and I see that they're Uber on the point, so I think we're probably going to lose this. So I'm going to grab the sniper and see what I can do, but the pyro immediately comes after me. I'm pretty sure that was just a good call by the sniper. I mean, it's good. As soon as he went down, he just told the pyro where he was, and the pyro was right on it. That's good teamwork by them. So here comes Smooth with the massive plays. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, when you're up, try and hold tab if you know their medics down, and tell your medic when they come up, because medics, a lot of medics will watch people's, they know how to counter another medic's gun and see what sort of uber charge they'll have. So as soon as their medic gets up, you want to check the medigun and check and let them know when the medic gets up. So they should have a good idea of the percentage. Now here, this was just spam stickies hit me, and I actually get caught. See on that shelf there, there's like you can kind of get caught on the leg of it a bit, and I did. I would have moved out a bit easier if I hadn't gotten stuck in it. Little things like this, map knowledge is a lot more important than you think, even for the smallest of things. So you can't, let's go for a back cap. Have to be. So now, what I'm doing there is I'm just trying to call out where that spy is. And this area here is called lobby, sort of middle lobby. Don't know how that pirate didn't see me. But it's also really important to know your place names and know that. Make sure, even if you don't call things their official names, so to speak, it's good to make sure your team calls everything by the same name. So that soldier just kind of gave me the stab for free. Just decloak behind him. Again, soldiers seem to be the least aware out of everybody. So I know that there's a pushing coming from my team. So what I try and do here is sap the gun, distract the engineer with the dispenser sap first, so he turns around, so I get more time to sap. But all of a sudden my team doesn't arrive, and the medic bashes me to death with the saw. Gets 2 saws onto me. Because yeah, like I was saying, I was kind of expecting everybody to arrive, but they didn't. For whatever, I think I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I don't think it went very well for that push. So now we have a few players behind us. I think we get to fall out. So now, I'm gonna try something similar. Just gonna try and get in behind and see what I can do. Right now, if it was extremely stalematey, like as if nobody was making any pushes and it was just literally spam both ways, I might try something like the Cloak and Dagger or the Light Ranger, but for now I'm just going to keep focusing with the Bizwatch and try and be a bit faster. Be a bit more high risk, high reward. So I open this door, soldiers there. At this point I was trying to get through, but they had their exits really well covered. They had somebody marking everything. We spent most of this game on their last one. It was really hard to convert rounds because this team had actually a very good last hold. So here, I decided I'm sick of taking spam, and I decided, because I see their team pushing out, that I'm going to try and just decloak out of sight and try and get some shots in. But there, Heavy actually turned around. I don't know why. I think it was post-Uber, but just managed to butter knife down their medic with some help. Not even has to be a backstab. Poking him in the front will do it just as easily, and there's no harm in doing it. Those strangers do count the butter knives. So we get pushed out to middle, so you actually spawn further back. Lardox whipping people. So here I'm up, check the medigun again, but I'm waiting to see when the medic actually spawns before I can check it for real again. Just gonna move to here, the Sully spots me, but then I tell my team that the soldier's there, and then Kitsy just turns around and blows him away. Or at least forces him out of there. It's important, you see that soldier there, that's why I kind of like to go alternate routes to run my combo go. Or as much as anything else, that even if I'm not engaging or making any kills in those places, I'm telling my team where their flank might be. So for instance, their soldier was in there, and he could have easily come around and dropped Q or something, but luckily he didn't, so we were able to get him. Just because I was able to tell them that the soldier was there. So now, I was going to go for the teleporter for the salty engine, but they bought my disguise, so I decided I'd take him down. So then it's time to start capping the point. Now, when there's a big distraction like that, that's the perfect time to disappear. They were coming in with an Uber and my team were behind them. Nobody's going to be looking for me, and nobody's going to spend a lot of time looking for me. So this is something I never like to do, which is run along this particular catwalk. It's just too narrow and it's too obvious. You're always going to get spy checked there. So I end up going down here. And what I actually did there was, when I ran away from the heavy, I doubled back to try and go back towards where the heavy had seen me going from. Because that's generally where the last place it's expected to be, is to run directly towards them. Most players don't expect it at all. So, but unfortunately the pirate just happened to be coming around and he caught me with his flames. No, chocolate. Kills their medic. And gets shot in the face. So always at your engineers take teleporters, they're more important. Now there I see Scout going through, but the way he's moving, that's sort of the way that because a spy moves slower than a Scout, and generally when spies are disguised as Scout, they try and do a lot of moving to try and make it look like, you know, to make it less noticeable. If a Scout's just running in a straight line, he's half the speed he should be, you're going to spot it straight away. So I thought it was actually a spy there, but it turned out not to be. Even though the spy was there, but so, you know, it doesn't do any harm to call it out sometimes, keep your team, remind your team. So this demo man just gives me the staff. He's not paying any attention, so I knew all I had to do was chase after him. Even if he had turned around, I mean, he was so out of position that a small fight with him, you know, I knew I would have been able to deal some damage. So here the heavy just jumped straight into me. I had no idea he was coming, so I tried to fight him. I do get him down to 45 HP, but I don't manage to kill him off. Again, you surprise yourself with how much damage the gun can do at close range, and all I was doing there was literally just AD, 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 and clicking the left mouse. Just try and, you know, do as much damage as you can. This is an argument that we're having, I think. Kitsy wanted to push through IT, and Addit was ready to go through choke. So I'm checking the medigun again. Again, just to make sure. I'm not sure if the medic went down in the meantime, but it's still just a good habit just every time you come up just to check. So what happens there is my Scout came around the corner and Smooth told me that the sentry gun was there and he wouldn't have been able to move around this way, but that sentry there, so I decided to focus it. Just make sure it stayed down. The engineer was nowhere to be seen, so he ends up chasing me, but the reason I've tried to focus that sentry gun so much as well is because you see the way that there's this exchange here within IT between our two combos. See how Lardax is in behind them? If that sentry gun had still been there, Lardax wouldn't have been anywhere near there. He couldn't have gotten there. And you know, this fight mightn't have gone so well because of it. Lardax does go down as a result, but and he doesn't actually get to kill the med, but it still does enough damage that their combo have to back out. And Team Fortress is one of those games where, well, it's the only game really with an Uber fight, but the post-Uber fight is so important in this game. It's often a lot more important than the Uber fight. What happens directly after the players all turn invincible. So here, I'm going in with the spy disguise. Again, this demo man just not paying enough attention. He was good, liked to deal his damage, but he was always by himself. That's one thing, that's the spy of heaven. When important players like that, if the sniper's playing a lot by himself, especially on a map like Process, or the demo's playing by himself, there's just so many shutters and rooms where you can just get in there by yourself. And just, you know, 1v1, just take them out, pick your fights. Like here. What I'm doing here is I actually wanted the sniper to chase me because I was feeling confident and I wanted to shoot him. I wanted to be able to kill him. I don't know what I was thinking there. In my head I kind of had a timer for how long the Girardi might last, and I thought it would be gone sooner. Maybe I should just engage that Scout, do it whatever damage I could. And when it comes to Lardax, it's a good force. But yeah, Spy is one of those classes where you can really pick your fights. You've way more power to pick your fights than any other class does. And Scout has the ability to get away from fights and stuff very easily, and so does a Soldier. Very mobile classes, but as a Spy, you can really pick your fights. You can you know, you can decide when you want to engage somebody as well as where. And generally you want to be engaging people without them realizing, so you're always going to want to have the upper hand. Of course it doesn't always work out, but so there what I did was I took a bit of damage and then I turned invisible and immediately turned around. That way, that's something people don't expect you to do. So I find your best chance of escape, you'll notice it's usually in the first few seconds after you turn invisible. So here we're just kind of doing a bit of damage. I'm playing like a second Scout at the minute, where all I'm really trying to do is just deal a bit of damage. And I actually disguise as a friendly pyro while I cap the point. It's one of those situations where it's good to be creative with your disguises. Don't be afraid to disguise as your team or anything like that. When there's a reason to, it's definitely worth doing. So here I actually gotten called out by the spy. I must have heard the decloak or something, because I thought that I might be able to get a pick there, but by the time I dropped down it was already on 20 health. So again, back to this team. This is a very good last hold. Making it hard for us to get through. So now those doors open and I get blown to pieces. What I was doing was I was kind of checking the shutter there. I was trying to see if the stickies were there, and I didn't expect them to blow up quite so quickly. If it had the dead ringer, I would have survived there. I wouldn't have made it through though, so you know, there's pros and cons to the dead ringer like that. I definitely wouldn't have made it in behind them with the dead ringer because it was just too much space to cover, but I would have survived that encounter. As well as that, in situations like that, sticky traps, you can, if you have a dead ringer, you've got like an extra life almost, so you can actually use it to your team's advantage by, you know, disguise as a friendly, disguise as an important friendly class like a demo or something, and go in and try and, you know, make people think that they've dropped a demo man, or just get stickies detonated. It doesn't cost your team anything. So right here, there I actually didn't really expect the demo to turn around so quickly. It was one of those, again, I was trying to decloak really quick close to the medic to try and get a quick stab, but it doesn't work out. There are times, again, that was one of those situations where I just kind of had to think, you know, was I going to take the risk or not? Again, it was always going to be a risk whether or not that was going to work out. There's no guarantee. So here the spy's getting up in my face, and he's done a lot of damage to me, but, you know, that's fine, because I'm going to survive, and even if I don't, my soldier's just going to pick up that spy really quickly. So, just let him waste his time trying to kill me. So here, now I noticed that pyro just went away into the sewer area, so I just took that opportunity because I knew that the medic wasn't being protected, and just walked up and got an easy stab. Pyro is definitely a balance and competitive between protecting your medic and actually dealing damage. If all Pyro is doing is spy checking, then, you know, he's not going to really get a whole lot of damage, so he's not helping his team out in any other way. Whereas, you know, if all he's doing is dealing damage, then, you know, you're going to get lots of picks. So even if he's not, you know, even if he's playing more as a flank Pyro, or if he's playing as just trying to kill you constantly, you know, don't feel so bad, because it's almost like they're playing with 8 players in some ways. Because you can then focus on getting things in the flank, and that Pyro's just going to continue to watch his medic. Now this demo man doesn't see me. I don't know how, but so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to decloak out of sight, and I'm going to move across, and this medic somehow sees me. I don't know, did I get called out, or it's by somebody else, or what? So I sap the gun because I know it's the thing that has the best tracking. Everything else has to aim, but the gun definitely needs to be sapped, or I'm going to go down immediately. And all I did was just ignore all the other players and just focus the medic. Trying to get him down, I actually got him down to 46 HP, and because of that I called it to Lardax, so Lardax was able to come in. Lardax didn't actually get the pick on him, but at the same time, that's the sort of teamwork you really want to be trying to focus on. You know, if you've dealt damage, and a lot of damage to a particular class, especially if it's an important class like the medic, tell your teammates. If anybody's in a position to finish off that damage, they will. So now, here I'm dealing with the scout, and again, this is another situation where teamwork comes in. I shouldn't win this fight realistically, but since I told Smoo where he was, Smoo came in and helped me out, and the two of us were actually able to kill him, even though the scout had gotten the health back in the first place. So here, what I'm trying to do here is just body blocks with the spy. I have 2 teammates there who are going to kill that spy really quickly. So all I'm trying to do is just block him out. So right here, Pyro's going around pretty crazy looking for me. But what I really want to do is pick the sniper. Getting the sniper down before a push can often mean like a free push in. You don't have to pop Uber that early. So now here, see that the medic is kind of distracted. To be honest, in hindsight, looking at this now, I should have cloaked across and then only decloaked when I got just outside stabbing range. It didn't matter, the Pyro immediately saw me and knew. All he was doing was looking for me anyway, so it doesn't matter who would have run from up there, he would have tried to kill him. Just only having 40 health, I knew I wouldn't really have time to, you know, do a lot of juking. I needed to be quick. So, right here, these ambient effect of being on fire and being fast, so I might actually just pause and see if I can fix it. Also, I don't know what anybody thinks of this new way of doing ticks. Going to ticks, but it's drives me bananas. It used to be much faster. I know it doesn't crash as much anymore, but watching all this craziness go by is kind of irritating, just so that I can no longer be on fire. I tried HUD reload scheme. If anybody knows actually the way to do it and not wreck the HUD, when I tried HUD reload scheme, I got a big message of the day kind of coming up. So here, Smooth actually got me caught there. Not his fault, of course. I mean, I probably should have come in another entrance, but and there I tried to corner stab the fire just for something. When that many players are pointing their weapons at you, the best thing you can do is just kind of relax and, you know, try and get something out anyway. So here Q was just after going down, so we were expecting a big push out of them. And this was just actually coming back to me, Q.
Alert! The control point is being captured.
And then Chocolate immediately retaliates, especially taking down their medic too, so. So here I forget how to jump, and finally managed to make it up here. When you're using the Invis Watch, map knowledge is really important because those little ammo packs actually make a much bigger difference than you might think. So here, yeah, I should have really looked around before I engaged that sniper. What I probably should have done was try to escape. I'm pretty sure I don't know if he had the Razorback on at that stage, but he engaged me with the Kukri immediately. So, but if I looked around and seen the sentry gun was there, I would have known that there was no way I was going to survive. And you know, between a rock and a hard place, it just makes my life a lot easier, especially with the sniper being so dangerous with that Kukri in close range. So as you can tell, this is a really long first round. We spent most of it holding on to their last, but this team was really good at holding last. I don't know if they were particularly defensive, but if they were just particularly good at defense or what. But well, anyway. So here, no point in trying to cross the line with that much cloak. Just come back, maybe get a heal or two. Try and decloak. And right now, I'm just going to wait for the push because I'm using the dead ringer and I just want to try and maybe get behind them. Or just be a bit ballsy like that. Move in there, let them pop my dead ringer and just tell my team that they're coming through that direction. Now here, Sully actually blows himself up and I see the scout is low, so I just shoot him twice. Sniper's looking at me. But that's fine. Sniper's looking at you, he's not looking at anybody else in your team. Keep him distracted. That dead ringer gives you such power in terms of making people chase you. Now here, he's buffed. I know the only thing that's going to work is a stab, so I move out here and... Somebody explain that to me. I don't know what happened there. To me that looked like he was facing the other direction entirely, but you know, that's Team Fortress fate. So they capture Spire again, so I have to move from this distance. Now I don't think, I probably should have checked the med again here. They're actually pushing through, so what I'm really trying to do is just trying to force them out. Just put that extra pressure, literally if they can just see a player there. And here I wasn't genuinely trying to body block the medic, but trying to distract them away from the heavy. If he's that distracted, then the heavy can do, you know, a bit less damage. So right here, heavy's on a 10k streak, needs to go down. So I could have just gone ham and just tried to pick the medic, but heavy was a sure thing there. And one of the worst things a team can actually have is momentum. Momentum is a big thing in terms of morale. And if a team is doing really well over time, it's actually better just, you know, try and grind things to a halt. Right there, what was important was protecting Q, obviously. Just because you're a spy doesn't mean you immediately have to be trying to go back and get people, you know, backstabs. You can also just try and protect your medic for a while. I mean, especially with the dead ringer, you can be that aggressive that you can block. I must play with my FOV to get the the dead ringer and the big kill look very big. This is obviously the default FOV. So here, Demo Man again gives me a free stab. What I really want to do is get that sentry gun though, so I'm going to try and go for that. Scout comes after me and immediately get covered in piss liquid and die. So I'm pretty sure this Girardi effect isn't going to go away either, so I'm going to do this again. Now we watch all of this go by. suppose it's better than beginning crashing.
The control point is being captured. Alert. The control point is being captured. Alert. The control point is being... Alert.
Okay. Again, anybody knows how to just remove those Jarady effects without having to do that? Okay, appreciate it. Ned goes down, that's lovely. Let's be work about it. And the gun goes down as well, without my help. So, right here, gotta move across the point. Long walk, not much to do. Should really have been checking the medigun. I also probably shouldn't have been using the dead ringer still, but if you see that there, sometimes when a spy tries to use the dead ringer and cloak at the same time, you'll see the puff of smoke after them. The telltale sign is if the puff of smoke moves, that's generally a sign that they're still alive. Sometimes the puff of smoke is still there, but if it's stationary, it usually means that they're actually dead. Here, fire tries to kill me. Just back out, get some heals, get put out, and play more of a scout. Let's just play like a second scout for now. Just try and poke people who are too close. Again, this is a repeat of earlier where I was just trying to check for stickies and then I get killed. I should have had my dead ringer up there. So that's a lesson learned. Don't check shutters unless you actually have your dead ringer up already. So now Larx asked me to turn around so he could whip me, and I missed, so I'm bad at standing still. And he jumps in. Again, teamwork. It's called Team Fortress 2. So now I move around through here. This slowly is like a free pick for me, so get him. Sniper! This is just bad play by me. I shouldn't have let that sniper kill me. I definitely shouldn't let him dominate me. It's bad when a sniper's dominating you. Not a good sign. You should be dominating them if anything. But here, fortunately, medic goes down, sentry gun goes down, we have numbers, and we finally get around. 0-1 after, what, 21 minutes? So now, immediately get up, check the minigun. Zero process can be a funny map. Sometimes medics are on quick fix to mid, sometimes they're medigun to mid. Kritzkrieg isn't all that uncommon either, not necessarily to mid, but so here, first thing I do is do a bit of damage to the demo man, call out that he's only 70 health, and Smooth gets in and wrecked him. That's really important. This early in a mid, if a demo goes down like that, it's a big crunch for your team, because the demo is really important at the first mid fight. So I notice that they're hiding in the sewer area, so I'm not going to get in there too easily, but what I'm going to do is just use my peripherals and do a bit of acting. I see here that I'm going to use the soldiers because I don't know far to go, and thankfully that soldier just leaves. So right now what I'm doing is believable. I go in, I call for medic, and I pretend like I genuinely need heals, and the medic just buys it. That way I can just move straight around and kill him. And this is the perfect opportunity off the back of that pick for my team to move in. The demo's probably up, but he has no way of defending mid anymore, so we might be, and especially with the lack of medic, we're probably going to be able to get second for free as well.
Time has been added.
So I'm going to go up, wait for the medic to spawn. He's up already, I think, so I check the minigun. And then I go spy disguise. When you're behind the enemy lines, I like to roll out sort of just with the sort of spy disguise initially, and then sometimes go for the scout disguise. Q actually goes down here, so I wanted to get the snipers like revenge, but I wasn't allowed. There goes that pyro.
Thank you.
And chocolate and their medic trade. Yeah. So right now I am running through with Q just because there's nobody else around and she needs to be build Uber. I'm pretty sure I get crit heals at this point
Our
anyway.
control point is being
So there I heard a backstab. Despite putting a silent kill and not coming with a kill feed, you still can hear it. It's actually quite distinctive once you get used to it. And plus the big white icicle statues kind of a giveaway. So right here, tried to get a stab. I'm getting magic out. Dush got unbelievable kills there. I just couldn't believe he was still alive. So dies, as you can see in the chat. So here I'm coming in as the scout. Trying to be a bit believable. Trying to jump a lot, move around a lot. Go places the scout and then they go. And there, I sapped that. And then I thought I had sapped the gun as well, but obviously not. So what I do here is I let my dead ringer go off. I actually get set on fire, but their team sort of get wrecked. But I just try, I notice that Smooth is there, and I try and get on the points as well. So it was important, even though I died right before the cat comes up, that time seriously made the difference, because you saw how quickly their Sully and their Pyro got onto that point. That Pyro could have easily air blasted us off if I hadn't gone for that extra, you know, times 1 on the point. It's a lot more important than you might think. So yeah, do help your team out. Help out with caps. The Spy is a good capper. I play lobbies where, you know, back caps are the only thing that's sort of won anything. So here, this was, I think there was 30 seconds left, so we were all just trying to kill the medic. And Lardax came in and did it, so that's the map.